Hello YouTube, it's Alec here with the Underground, here to give you an updated list of my Archfiend deck for the January 2014 format. A lot of you guys have seen games of me playtesting with it. Probably will see more games of me playtesting with it because it's a really entertaining deck to play. And I actually did make an update for it, but it was like 20 minutes long, so I didn't want to sit through that to make sure I didn't say anything wrong. So I figured you guys wouldn't want to sit through that. So let's do the condensed version. And yeah, 3 Eris searches the whole deck. Yeah. 3 Lord of Horror. Only thing you need to know about him is he is ruled very interestingly, because in the OCG, his effect to destroy himself is a condition, even though in the TCG, it's written as an effect. So, if you ever do decide to play this deck, I would ask how he's ruled under Skill Drain, but I will just give you like a sneak peek. If you play him in St. Louis, the judge staff has said that he will be ruled like a condition and still kill himself under Skill Drain. It doesn't make that big of a difference. It makes games like less easy to steal under Skill Drain, but it's not the biggest thing in the world, and honestly it doesn't make a difference like in a significant number of games. So if you're interested in playing the deck, I'd play it despite what the ruling is, but I would check with your local judge team so you know what it is ruled in your area. Just a heads up there. 2 Archfiend Cavalry. I still play this at 2. You can honestly drop it to 1 if you want, because it is so readily searchable, but the card's very good in Fire Fist matchups, and it plays through a lot of different back row just because of the inability to destroy him with card effects, and being 2400 with the field spell is nothing to laugh at. So I still play him at 2. Pretty solid card, just depending on the matchup. In some matchups he's dead, and others he's like very live. And to round out the Archfiend monsters, we got Trance Archfiend. Dropped it to 1 because he's really not necessary. The only time you really want him is if you have cavalry on the field and banish something with the field spell. Very good in grind games, but outside of that, not the greatest. So I feel like 1 copy is definitely enough. Now to get to our Eris, we got 2 Armageddonite and the new revamped triple tour guide to the Underworld. This makes a huge difference in the deck. Makes it a lot more consistent, and just the 3rd tour guide really did help, so be sure you're playing 3 of those if you play it in the new format. And 2 Battle Fader just to set off our combos and stop OTKs and whatnot. For the spells, 2 Pal Labyrinth. It's readily searchable, so you don't need 3 reinforcements of the army. Just to get to Armageddonite, because after you get your Armageddonites off, like early game, you don't want to draw them. Foolish, another way to get heirs to grave. 2 Duality, just for consistency. You're not really special summoning much in the early game, and you can go without special summoning mid to late game. And for our power spells, 1 Dark Hole and 3 Snatch Steal. Really no explanation here. Falling Down is not a fair card, and the ability to do unfair things with Falling Down is part of what makes this deck like a brilliant rogue contender. And I need to quit getting my arms in the camera. For the traps, we're going to play 2 legitimate traps this time, just to fill empty space. We've got Bottomless Trap Hole and Torrential Tribute. Bottomless is something that I've just been coming around to this format. You can really play whatever you want in these 2 slots here, depending on your favorite traps. But Bottomless and Torrential at critical times can really hurt your opponent, and I don't play Warning, because obviously there are life point costs associated with your cards, so you don't want to like take that 2000 damage when there's a lot more you have to do. For auto win traps, we got our 1 Eradicator, because Heavy Storm's not banned for this deck, and triple Skill Drain, because with Archfiend Lord of Horror being 3000 to potentially 3500 under Skill Drain, there's not a deck that can actually beat you under Skill Drain, which just makes it a meta call. If you've seen previous builds, I was playing things like Mass Chameleon and different stuff like that, but for this build, I really wanted to streamline it, and what I felt could just easily and consistently win the most games with the Archfiend combos that I talked about, and I felt like the 3 skill drain was doing that more than some of the other combo cards that I was using. And for the revival traps, we're going to play 3 Call the Haunted, 3 Archfiend's Roar, 1 Burst Rebirth, and 1 Escape from the Dark Dimension. Now, you already kind of know my reasoning on Call the Haunted and Archfiend's Roar. Escape from the Dark Dimension, I used to replace Return from the Different Dimension for right now. All you ever got off Return was a card or 2 anyway, so Escape really just kind of provides some utility if something gets bottomless, or you can banish a monster for cost with Lord of Horror's effect and keep going like that. Burst Rebirth, just another good revival card because I felt like the 6 wasn't enough for this deck. You can in-phase get stuff, you can use it to still use airs to block an attack just like the rest of them, so it's pretty solid. As far as these 2 go, I'm still testing them. One might win over the other and get 2 copies main decked, but for now, 1 and 1's been working. Extra deck, Felgrand, because that Lord of Horror thing's ruled in effect, so if you ever get 2 of them in Fiendish Chain, without the Masked Chameleons, there's a lot of room. So, Key Beetle, Crazy Box, Abyss Dweller, Cowboy, Black Shipcorn, Direwolf, Laval Chain, for rank 3s, Tempo, Acid Golem, Leviair, Zen Mains, and not 1 but 2 Fortune Tune, because a lot of the times when they kill Fortune Tune, you'll chain Archfiend's Roar to its effect, and you'll cut off the first one, but the second one's still pretty useful because it puts Tour Guides back in your deck. Also, very good card for time, and just because it can't be targeted, like, it pretty much guarantees your Archfiend Error Search is going to go off, because if you don't know, Zen Mains and Fortune Tune send for effect, which gets your Air's effect off. If you didn't notice, there's 2 cards missing. One of them's Constellar Ptolemy M7. That's just for the Constellar matchup. If you're falling down something without the Archfiend cards to keep the falling down holding it, you can overlay for M7. And the one after that is either Ghost Trick Alucard or Gaia Charger, just for the falling down, and the other one just for a good rank 3. Haven't really decided what I want to do with that. Side deck, everything's pretty standard. 2 Max C. People are turning away from Max C this format, but decks that can outpace this deck do a lot of harm because this deck is very reliant on its normal summon. So I felt Max C was just a good call to cover what this deck doesn't do by itself. And you can dig for Battle Faders, which is hopeful. 2 DD Crow. DD Crow is just useful against a lot of things. 2 DNA Surgery for Bujin Prophecy. 2 Deck Dev, might even go to 3 just because Madolche's is like an unwinnable matchup. I've played 6 matches in playtesting against my friends, and I lost all of them like 0-2 except for 1. And it's pretty much game 1, you have to go for skill drains, so I'm going to have to think about how to address that matchup, and Deck Dev might be the answer, because Deck Dev's not really a fair card. 3 MST, just for spell trap removal. 2 Smashing Ground for Bujin, Leedies, just monsters that you can't or don't want to deal with while you're setting up, just to get rid of them. And last, 2 Twister, just because Decree and Macro and Deep Fissure and a bunch of commonly used like continuous traps side deck cards hurt, and like against Fire Fist, you're always going to have that utility because you can always beam a Tenki and prevent them from getting a monster. So that is the updated Archfiend deck list. I hope you enjoyed it. Rate, comment, subscribe. If you guys haven't already, please give us a like on Facebook to keep up with all the Underground members, even the ones who get a little bit busier than I do and don't necessarily have that time available to make videos. And check out our Reloaded website. We have articles going up pretty much once every couple weeks now, and we're moving to get more consistent on that. Just a lot of great things going on with our group right now, and I urge you to check them out. Have a great New Year. If you haven't already been told that by us, I think I might have said it in a video, but I don't know. And remember, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Vines week, so check out the channel every day, because we will have short little things to brighten up your day. I'm out, guys.